and gentlemen, All Saints Catholic Church in Dallas, Texas welcomes you to All Saints Coffee Chats.
There's so much emphasis on what am I going to do for Lent, and how am I going to have a successful Lent, and what am I going to give up, and what am I going to add on, and there just seems to be so much headspace around that topic, and it's good. And on the one hand, it's great because we should, again, discerning. We should be thinking about what is God calling me to do in this season to prepare for Easter, and give that some thought. And anytime you're thinking about how you can draw closer to God is a great thing, right? But sometimes what I see is it gets a little bit out of balance because sometimes people tend to focus too much on the process, and not on, and we sometimes make it overcomplicated, right? So we say like, oh well, I've got to do all these things. I have to go to all these events. I have to pray all these prayers. I have to read all this content of these books or whatever. And that's great. But at the end of the day, is that drawing closer to Christ? Are you entering into a deeper relationship? If you think about the 40 days that Jesus spent in the desert, which gives us sort of the foundation for Lent. Think about how simple and austere that time was, right? There wasn't a lot of outside noise. That was the whole point. The point was to kind of get away and be in isolation with God. So sometimes I see people get hung up on that stuff, or they think, like I had a buddy of mine yesterday text me and he said. He said, well, what's the deal with this whole Sunday thing? Like, someone told me today after Mass, I got my ashes, that you can take Sundays off. Like what is that about? And so I'm like, well, there's two schools of thought. There's some people that think, Sundays are solemnities, and so it's the highest, celebration we have. We're celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And so even during Lent, you can sort of celebrate, those days and drink your coffee or whatever you're doing. However, the other school of thought is, this is the season of Lent, much like Christ spent time in the desert. I'm going to take this the whole time off, right? And I said, don't get too hung up on it, right? Focus on Christ. Focus on what you're trying to do. The other side of it, if when I think about yesterday's reading, right, which we see almost every single Lent, focusing on almsgiving, focusing on fasting, focusing on praying, which are three great places to start. But if you look back at that passage, that's right in the middle of Matthew, right? It's the early part of Matthew, right? It's the Sermon on the Mount, right? So in Matthew, Jesus he goes to the desert, and right after the desert, he's tempted, of course, and then he picks his disciples, his apostles, and then immediately you see he's thrust into public ministry, the Sermon on the Mount. And in that sermon, he says everything from, it's the Beatitudes, starts off with the Beatitudes, talks about everything from divorce and adultery to prayer, to he gives us the Lord's Prayer there. But at the very end, when he's done talking, I find it fascinating because it says the crowds were astonished at his authority. So you're thinking am I astonished by the presence of Christ in my life? The creator of the universe wants to have a personal relationship with me, and in this time of Lent wants to get me even closer. Does that astonish me? And if not, then that's a place to start for Lent. Like, how do I rediscover this astonishment? How do I order my life so that he has the right, because they were astonished at his authority, right? How do I order my life so he has the authority in my life to help me and to guide me, right? And so it's like at the end of the day, if you're struggling what to do, start with those things. Astonishment and authority. That's what the crowd was. That was their reaction when they heard the Sermon on the Mount, which is the teachings from the gospel we saw yesterday. So that's a very long answer to
No,
I'm sorry.
No, I think that's fantastic, because I think it can be so easy to get caught up in what's everyone else doing. I think we can just pick and choose from what I've heard and what I've seen, and that's kind of been a big thing for me this year. Is okay, how do I make this more personal in what it's intended to be? Because it's just so easy to be I drink coffee every morning. Maybe I can just throw that out the window.
We are influenced, good and bad, by the world that tells us what does success look like, and so you think, well, shoot, after Lent, I didn't I did a rosary every day, and I gave up coffee every day, and I didn't eat meat, and I fasted when I fasted. I went to a couple Station of the Cross, like awesome. You know, okay, that's good. That could be very good. That could bear fruit, but but where's your relationship with Christ now, right? Have you entered into any deeper sense? You know, have you done anything for that baptismal call, right? From that, if you look at, you know, like Matthew 28, like, you know, did I help bring anyone else into Christ either, right? Did I spread his message to anybody else? You know, just, you know, look at those things. So
yeah, exactly. And I think that's, again, just like making it so personal and trying to step away from the ease of it, and rather like I think growing up I saw it a lot as like maybe checking things off of the list.
Right. Yeah.
So at the end of it, it was like, wow, I'm so accomplished. Look at all these new habits that I have, or habits that I've taken away, and it's like, well, but how is that actually like moved me along?
Yeah. And it's not to diminish those things, right? It's right. It's not to say you know, those things don't help point you in the right direction. It's almost, it was a Monday readings when the man comes to Jesus and he says, what do I need to do to get into heaven? And he says, I follow all the commandments. I follow, you know, I do everything I'm supposed to do. And then Jesus says, okay, now that you've done that, take the next step and sell everything. And then the guy's like, whoa, right? So,
Wait,
you know, so
on.
right, yes. So there's Jesus always sort of nudging us to get better. Okay, so you did that, great. Now, you know, let's keep going. Right? Let's keep getting better. Let's keep growing closer. You know, so those things are good, but so it's not to diminish those or say don't bother with those. I'm not trying to say that either. But it's, you know, but he is constantly nudging us too. And the other thing too, I would say is don't be too hard on yourself. On ourselves, right? Like sometimes we treat it like a New Year's resolution, right? Like I'm gonna lose weight, right? Exactly. I'm balancing my checkbook, and you know by Valentine's Day you completely obliterated that, and so you give up, right? And so because the enemy wants us to do that, the enemy totally wants it. Like I have another buddy of mine who was like, it's kind of funny. He said, I was really busy, and I ran through McDonald's. This is yesterday, and I ordered the fillet, you know, the fish fillet sandwich, and I'm driving down Central Expressway, and I take a bite, and I realize I just bit into a cheeseburger. They gave me the wrong order. He's like, no, right? And he looks up in the rearview mirror, and he's like, I'm holding a cheeseburger. I'm looking. I still have the ashes from Mass I just went to, and he's like, I can't believe I blew it on the first day. Should I just give up? I'm like, no, don't. You know, like don't. So that's the other thing. Like, don't be too hard on yourself. You know, the enemy wants you to say, you know what? Here's everything you're supposed to do, and well, you blew it. You're not even 2 weeks in. You know, just this is why you're a bad Catholic. This is why you're never gonna just give it up, right? So don't don't be too hard on ourselves. It's it's the constant getting up and continuing to try and please Christ.
Yeah, definitely. All about that, like the intentionality.
Yes.
I don't know if I just made up that word. Being intentional with
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
I guess that is a word. Just being very like taking those necessary steps to make sure it's something that is actually meant for you. It's not just something that you are taking on.
Yes.
Kind of asking that question, like, am I doing this to like actually form my heart, or am I just doing this like to form my head, or to like have the works of my hands be seen? It's like, actually no, is this like for my heart?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way of looking at it. Make it really simple.
Yeah,
you're right. We're so programmed to looking at our head first, right? Yeah, is it going to make me better, smarter, you know, more competitive, more whatever? You know?
Right. Yeah.
How's it going to make me appear at the end of this? So with that, really, if y'all wouldn't mind sharing, I was going to ask like if you have any like Lenten sacrifices or promises in particular that you are attempting to kind of take on or like make a transition with. Both of you. I'm also trying to think of my own, so I'm like throw the question out.
Are you a late starter, right? Like like, you know,
I definitely thought of something like yesterday, and I was like, oh, okay, that's good.
I want to hear a couple other. I want to a few days. I want to hear some other people.
Yeah,
I'm going to commit too soon in this process. All right.
Yeah, I definitely am trying the coffee situation, trying to make it like a process. Because I know, like, I think I explained in, like, the podcast that we're doing a little bit for yesterday that, like, if I were to rip that out of my habit, like, today and then just not have it for the next, like, 40 days, I would probably be very unpleasant to be around
Yeah.
over the next week.
Yeah.
So trying to think of that like way that I'm like, okay, well, am I just trying to get rid of this habit, or am I trying to, replacing the time that I sit with coffee and being like, okay, maybe I can sit and like read scripture during that time, or maybe
Right.
I can sit and just like have a quiet time of prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that would be much more to motivate me to get
Yes.
throughout the rest of the day than a single cup of coffee would.
Yeah.
So trying to take it like I didn't have a second cup yesterday morning, and I had one today. And I think tomorrow I'm going to try to not have any.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm trying to do
Yeah.
a little bit. I'm going to see what else I
Yeah.
can do down the road. But
How's the headaches? Have you had a headache yet?
yes,
Oh, man.
definitely.
Yeah, those
And
were
I'm
like, yeah.
Why
yeah.
did I do this to myself?
Yes.
Why did I get myself started?
Yes,
on this?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's crazy.
You're like, can't God call me to do anything else in life?
Really.
Drink lots of water, by the way.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
exactly.
yes.
I'm like, maybe this is also just a habit that needs to be broken as well.
Right.
But trying to be more intentional.
Right,
with
that's
it.
a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one. What about you?
I am so something that I have really wanted to do more often. Last year, being on a focus team last year, we would talk about like ways that we can make small sacrifices or fasting for our students.
Yeah.
Which I last year was just like, I know this is part of what I'm supposed to be doing, but I just don't like it. And one of the things that we had talked about as a team was sleeping on the ground for like a week or something, which I was just like, absolutely not. Like, I will not sleep on the ground. Like, I'm not going to do that. And I just kind of like noticed that resistance in me, and I was like, actually, like that resistance, like, it's probably like good to like a good place for me to like step into humility a little bit. And so then occasionally, every now and then, like once a month, I would like pull all of my blankets, like everything that's soft and cozy, and like put it on the ground and be like, okay,
Right.
this is not terrible, I can do this, and like
Right,
making
yeah.
it very easy in a way for
Yeah.
me. And so I think like during Lent this year, in a way to just kind of remember the cross that Jesus carried on Fridays, is on Friday nights to sleep on the ground, still with my cozy blankets because I'm still pretty weak and little. But yeah, being able to like make that sacrifice of comfort that day, just as Jesus made that sacrifice of comfort on Good Friday.
Nice. Yeah.
So it's one of the things that I'm doing, and then the other is the Lenten Meditations Restore by Sister Miriam James, which
yeah.
I think we all got that book.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
So nice.
So going through those, and just I love Sister Miriam James, and just like everything she says always speaks to my heart, and so just really excited to kind of dive into this and have her form my heart every single day in the way that she knows Jesus, like knowing him similarly.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
kind
good.
of like sitting with a friend who knows Jesus really well and getting to know him through her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Does falling asleep on the couch count? Is that the same?
That's the same,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Similar. It's
okay.
similar.
Similar,
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
In that
a
case, yeah,
very similar thing.
I do that all year round then, so I'm doing great.
Oh,
yeah.
By that
you are
measure, I'm doing
Sam,
great.
you already
job.
got it.
You are good.
No, that is a great one. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's a hard one.
Yeah. Well, but especially now when you think of the situation we have in the world, in Ukraine, and just to hearing this explosion of humanitarian crisis that we're having in the suffering that people are doing. I mean, that's what a good way to kind of connect to
Yeah,
that larger
very true.
piece.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I absolutely think so. It
Yeah.
also is, I think, a good way to remember that not everyone has a bed to sleep in every
Yeah.
night.
Yeah. Yeah. Even our own city. So yeah, that's good. Yeah.
That's very true.
For me, I'm trying to pick. I like to pick like one classic Catholic book that I haven't read yet, and so I'm trying to decide, and I've or that it's been so long. Right? Like different seasons of life, right? You read stuff, or you are exposed to stuff, and you react completely differently. Scripture, of course, is right. And I'm so like you. I'm trying to, or maybe I'm not saying like you, but like
No,
some
but,
people.
like, I'm
some
definitely,
people
like, easing into it.
yeah. So I'm trying to decide. Should I do Justin Martyr or The Dark Night of the Soul? So Justin the Martyr. I've read excerpts of some of his stuff, but just and just I'm trying to get more in touch with the ancient church and just what life was like those first couple hundred years, and just like hearing his story of how he was a philosopher, and that was the true religion, and then exposed to somebody who was a believer who completely changed his heart, and then ended up going from hating it and thinking philosophy was the ultimate to end up dying for his religion was just amazing. And how he talks about the Mass, and it's like you're reading something that you would find in today's Mass. I mean, it's amazing how he basically prescribes what our Mass is, right? And so that. But the thing I'm doing every day is I'm trying to visualize. It sounds a little odd, but I'm trying to visualize in wherever I go, whatever I do, whether it's waking up, whether it's letting the dogs out in the morning, whether it's debating if I should have coffee or not, whether it's driving down here, whether it's in this room, is that Jesus is with me, physically with me, present every single moment of the day. So just so like, what does he look like? What is he wearing that day? Where is he sitting? How is he reacting to the conversation he's hearing? How am I conversing with him when I'm in the car driving down here? So just to see how that changes my everyday, simple, insignificant moments that you never give a second thought to every day. So I'm just trying to see what that's like.
Yeah, I've never heard of doing that before. That's really interesting.
So we'll see. I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah.
So
That's
if he
so
was
great.
here right now, what would he be doing?
So in my mind, he's sitting right there on that chair right there, because that didn't have a back, so he's over there. And
Of course.
It makes so much sense.
right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of practicality in him, and he's listening. He's listening. He's observing. He's looking around. He's looking at the gentleman behind the camera there. Sorry.
Yeah.
And
That's so cool.
and he, right now he's got a smile on his face.
Oh.
So
I can see it.
yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah.
That's
So,
so great. I love that.
So
yeah.
yeah.
That's neat. Maybe that's
Yeah.
one I'll pick up on.
But like like I like when I got in the car, I make 2 phone calls, and then I want to just hear the latest on the news, and I shut it off. I'm like, okay, God, like help me with the conversation right now. Help me with what I have going on this afternoon, and like what should I say to this person I'm talking to at 3 today, and then just literally like I'm having a conversation. So yeah,
That's
so
great. And that's such a great way. Yeah, it starts to just really integrate it in
Right.
every aspect
Right.
of your life.
Yeah.
Seamlessly.
But if we're supposed to have a relationship, why not treat Jesus like you are having a relationship, like you would with anybody else?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. Simple as that, really.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah.
So I think it's that time.
Uh-oh.
I think.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think I shared this with you previously, the
Yes.
lightning round. Yeah. So basically, we have
Yes.
7 would you
Yes.
rather questions.
Okay. Yes. Awesome.
And we're just
okay.
gonna try
yes.
to answer them as quickly as possible.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay,
We'll
okay.
start off kind
All
of
right.
easy. But I'll go ahead and let you answer first, and then Krista, and
Okay.
then I'll answer.
Right, okay. Wait, I think Chris should go first.
Oh, so should we go like this direction?
No, I'm totally kidding. You can do whatever you want to do. You do whatever you want to do.
Let's just all shout our answer at the same time and see what happens.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That seems to work pretty well. Okay, are we ready? All right, ready, go. Really easy. Dogs or cats? Maybe not easy.
Dogs.
Dogs.
I'm gonna say dogs.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but that's
Good. We can easily continue our conversation.
We can be friends.
Okay, Lionsgate movies or Universal Studios movies? Or Universal. I don't know if it's Universal Studios.
That's hard.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is the slowest bolt of lightning ever. Wow.
I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with Universal because I think I can think of more Universal.
Yeah, like off the top of my head,
Mhm.
that's more of it
Yeah.
comes to.
But I think Sound of Music is Lionsgate, and so I'm
Oh,
like,
is it really?
I think so. I feel like it is, but I could be wrong. I
Okay, in
could
that
be
case,
really
so
wrong.
if you do that, I'll take the Lionsgate
Okay.
just to show them some love then.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And give props to Sound of Music.
Absolutely, that's perfect.
Whether that's
We
Lionsgate or not,
balance
right?
it out.
Yes.
Perfect,
Yeah,
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, I want to say Lionsgate just because it's the first, like, I think it's the first logo I pictured versus
Oh.
Universal. I don't remember what their
Ah,
intro looks like, so I'm
interesting.
just gonna go. I'm gonna say I listen.
Is
or
Universal
watch
the world?
Yes.
Yeah, wherever
Yeah.
like
Paramount's
It's
the
like
mountain,
the-
right? Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Maybe I thought it was Paramount. Who knows? I'll say Lionsgate. Would you rather be able to talk to animals or speak all foreign languages?
Whoa.
It's difficult.
All foreign languages.
Gosh.
That way I can communicate with other people.
See, we've done this multiple times, and I'm still gonna say animals.
Yeah.
We definitely have.
So I'll represent St. Francis of Assisi parish and say animals.
There
How's
you
that?
go.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That works out pretty well.
Yeah, I can take the people.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
What a cool superpower.
Yeah, a few of these are pulled back from previous ones, so they're always super interesting. Would you rather only listen to music from the 1930s, or actually let's just say the 30s, any 30s, I don't even know what it is, or only modern country music from today?
The 30s.
1930s. That's the easiest one to answer so far.
Yeah, I'll say 30s. Pretty
Right,
easy
yes.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, would you rather be Batman or Spider-Man?
Spider-Man.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Well, actually, no, I
I
guess I would say Spider-Man. Oh.
Yeah, I kind of want to do the.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
What was that sound effect again?
No. Ding.
Like the thing that.
You know how you like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, I don't know. Yeah, but Batman doesn't really have like.
Yeah, like what does he do that's like really cool?
Yeah.
Like his cool thing.
He has cool
He
gadgets.
has like the cool mobile,
yeah.
but
Paul would have a field day right now.
Yeah, I know.
He's so angry.
that's what I was
Oh,
thinking. It was like,
really?
Yeah,
He
Paul
loves that,
loves
Oh, really?
Batman.
Okay. Well, in homage to Paul, I'll say that.
Okay, yeah,
For
that's
just for Paul's sake, out
Yeah,
of respect
yeah,
of
yeah.
Paul.
Fair enough. Let's see. I think this is the last one. Would you rather? Okay, it's kind of hard to explain. Would you rather have a head the size and shape of a golf ball, or the size and shape of a loaf of bread?
That is awesome. Okay.
Still, so much thought.
I know. I don't think you want us thinking about these things too much, right?
A loaf of bread. There's so many different loaves of bread that I could be the shape of, so it could be kind of
True,
fun.
like a sourdough
Yeah.
can be like.
Oh
more
yeah,
of
yeah, like a baguette. Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be like a croissant where I like floop on the like I
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be kinda
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
yeah, it's bread.
Bread. Yeah, I think I'm gonna say bread too.
Yeah. I'll do bread just because I need all the brain I can get, and so
That's true.
the bigger, the better.
Yeah,
I know how help I can
Yeah.
get. So.
Yeah. Okay, actually, one more for number 7. Last one.
Bonus
Would you
round.
rather have
This is it.
banana peels for hair,
Yes. Whatever the answer
or
is, yes. Stop
or
right
have
there.
to eat a banana with every meal for the rest of your life?
I'm gonna go with eat a banana with my meal for the rest of my life.
I think so too. I don't
Yeah.
know what that actually looks
Yeah.
like, but
I like my
I know I
hair.
like it better
Yeah.
Right.
than slimy
yeah.
hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty settled on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could probably trick up the banana a little bit, right? And like.
Yeah, you can
You
put
know.
like
There's a
Nutella
lot
on the
that you
can
banana.
do.
You
Yes,
can do
yes.
peanut
Yeah.
butter banana.
Yes.
You can put it in a smoothie. Like there's so many
Bingo.
things you can
Yeah.
do with a banana.
Exactly. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
So if we've learned anything from today, we could do a lot with bananas. And
Yeah.
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 Lots of different meals.
And-
So.
And we don't answer lightning questions fast either.
No.
Yeah, also,
yeah,
not at
we're
all.
not-
It takes
we
me a
are.
lot of time to think about a lot of different things.
That's why it's a challenge. That's why it's
Exactly.
What's the opposite of lightning? Yeah.
Yeah, we're under 5 minutes though. I'm gonna call that a win.
That's good.
We did
Yeah.
pretty well.
Sometimes it takes like close to 10. So.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
what did it took like close to 10 minutes one time, and it was just
yeah,
us two.
it was just
Oh,
us.
wow,
That was
okay,
like
yeah.
one. Yeah, did not mean for that to happen.
Yeah.
That must be really hard. Wow.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here with us
Thank you so
today.
much.
Really
Thank you.
appreciate it,
Thank
and
you.
excited to have you this evening with our young adults.
Yes.
We're gonna have our second night of our Encyclical event,
Great.
and you'll be talking about one of Pope Francis's
Yep.
most recent documents.
Yep.
And he actually talks a lot about Saint Francis of Assisi
He
in
does.
that document.
He really
so
does.
love
Yes. Yeah.
the connection
Yes.
to it.
Yeah. It's a great book. Fratelli Tutti. It's
Mm-hmm.
he did it in the midst of the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's true Pope Francis. It's a great work. It really is. So yeah.
Definitely. So that'll be exciting. That'll be tonight at 7 p.m. in Fellowship Hall for all of the young adults. Really excited for
Nice.
that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much again for coming. Join us next week for episode. What did I say today? Was
94.
95?
Yeah.
Or are we not even that far
We're gonna
yet?
keep it at it's 95.
Yeah, it's somewhere up there.
Yeah.
We haven't made it to 100
Yeah.
yet. We know eventually.
Who's on next week? A special guest?
Yeah.
Right.
Special guest, secret.
To be
secret,
named at the
guest.
time of your choosing.
Exactly.
Yes. Very good. I like that. Clandestine. That's good.
Yeah. We'll see y'all again next week.
Stay tuned.
Please continue to pray for us as we continue to pray for you. And yeah, have a great week. Bye, guys.
Bye all. God bless you.
Bye.